let's talk about what made you want to become a police officer. What drew you to this career path?
Well, when I was a little kid, my brother, right after the towers came down, he went and joined the Marine Corps, and just kind of set a legacy ahead of time for me for like service and everything. So for a long time, I thought I'd want to be a Marine. Went to college for criminal justice because I couldn't think of anything else to do. That way I could get my degree and become an officer in the Marine Corps once I got out. Well, while I was in college, I met a former sheriff's officer, actually from Bernalillo County. He was pretty high up. He had retired and went to the college I was going to teach. And he was a really, really good role model for me, still is. And he recruited me to come out here saying, hey, look, Albuquerque is like the police or the sheriff's office. They're both like the best trained departments in the country. It's really, really a great place to go. And going through criminal justice and realizing that, there's a lot more service on a day-to-day basis with your community that you're going to get as a police officer. And that's what made me want to become a cop.
And so you went to college?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you chose to become a police officer?
I did.
So how long have you been an Albuquerque police officer?
About a year and it's May now, so a year and a couple months, so 14 months.
Okay. So you're relatively new.
Oh yeah.
And so what has this experience been like for you?
I was thinking about that on the way down here. The best word I can describe is just confusing for the most part. Basically just the whole time being told one thing and expected to do something else.
So how your training or how you were trained in the academy when you got out into the field, what was that like for you?
The academy was a lot of, it was great training. I mean, the best thing I've ever had in my life. I'm young and new, so it's not like I've had a lot, but better than anything any of my friends have described from going to other departments. I mean, just top notch. But the things that they told us to do in the academy, as far as like use of force or even talking to people in the field, it turns out to be you're not allowed to do the things you're trained to do in the academy, which is what made me feel really good about taking the streets and being safe. Is, hey, if something happens, like I can use these tools and these skills that I've been trained to do. But in reality, it's, well, you can't really until you've exhausted every possible option, which doesn't always work.
So give me some scenarios. Talk to me about some of the things that have happened or that you may have experienced out in the field that
Sure.
were not consistent with that.
So a couple of things is they told us, hey, if you've got somebody who is always going to run, they've got a history of running, you've shown up on scene, they always run away. If you're able to contact them, make sure that the first thing you need to do, if you have a good reason to do it, a lawful reason to do it, go ahead and detain them. You don't want them to run because you don't want to have to tackle them. It's a way to get out of using force and everything like that. Well, I had a situation where a guy was terrorizing his wife and beating her up a lot. She told us he worked at a store. My partner had good probable cause to go there. At the very least reasonable suspicion, but we had probable cause to make an arrest. We went there, manager said, yeah, he's in the back, and we walked up to him, we asked him his name, he identified himself, we identified ourselves. We said, hey, right now you're detained, you're not free to leave. We gave him all the warnings. We identified ourselves. I don't know if we said our cameras were on, but we gave everything we're supposed to say. And told him to turn around, place his hands behind his back. He started to, while he was resisting us, just kind of standing there like not doing what we still told him to do. I explained to him in a very calm, de-escalating voice, dude, right now you're not getting out of this, you are going to be detained. Don't fight us. He proceeded to fight us. We used force on him, got him in custody, and we're in trouble for that. A lot of trouble. So,
what do you think that is?
Well, there's a couple things we could have done better. Small things. We could have run him right before to see that he did have a warrant out of Sandoval that we could have used also to arrest him on, even though we had probable cause for our thing.
So you're 3 weeks out from on-the-job training.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your first experience with discipline, and what was going through your head?
At the time, it was, hey, we might have made a couple mistakes, but we were doing the right thing. We had good faith, obviously, to do the right thing, good reason to do it. There's some confusion right now, but it'll work out. they'll figure it out. We'll get through this. It's fine. We did the right thing, so we don't have anything to worry about. That was what I was thinking at the time. That could answer your next question if that's what it's going to be. That's not what it is now, because after almost a year of this investigation going on, just a lot of lies, honestly, about how the investigation was done. A lot of false promises that somebody was going to own up to something and not. It just really sucks, to be honest.
So you've been under investigation for this one minor incident for a year?
Yeah, they tried to charge me and my partner with the felony, with false imprisonment, because they were trying to say if it wasn't a good arrest, you detained somebody with, or you arrested somebody really with, without a reason to do so, so it's false imprisonment. That investigation's not going anywhere, obviously, because it's stupid, but just having to go through that entire thing, me and my partner both, it's horrible.
How discouraged are you by that?
A lot, a ton. Which isn't something normal for me because, you know, most of my life I've, like I said, just realized, hey, do the right thing, work hard, get through it. Sorry.
And you were 3 weeks on the job, right?
Yeah, basically.
You're
Yeah.
brand new.
Yeah, no, exactly. And my partner too. You know, we're both in the same class. So, but what I was trying to say earlier, before Waterworks came on, you believe something your entire career, your criminal justice career. I mean, literally since I was like 16, I've been looking forward to being a cop, and it turns into, yeah, just a lot of like disenfranchisement because, like I said, like my entire career, my entire college career, going through like giving up another career actually, and like moving my family out here and my wife and everything.
What is it like for you with other officers? Do you hear them talking about discipline and how they deal with discipline and what their thoughts are? Yeah, everybody. I mean, that was one of the funny things. I went to a breakfast with the chief, and he was saying like, well, you know, guys, it's not everybody who's getting the target letters. It's not everybody who's getting in trouble. It's just the guys who need to learn stuff, and we're going to try to work with them, keep them on, and everything. And then he's like, well, you know, there's a few that are really not going to work with us, and they're not going to get retrained and everything. So we're going to have to let them go, or whatever. We'll work through it. And I remember everybody at the table. Like, I was, you know, obviously super new at the time, but I am now too. But like at the time, like 3-4 months on. And everybody at the table was just sitting there, like, looking at each other, just in absolute disbelief. I mean, you got sergeants in there, you got, I think there was a lieutenant in there. People have been on they've been on years, 19 years or whatever, and they're just, like, looking at each other completely shocked. Not a lot of that would shock somebody who's been on for 19 years, and I remember talking to one of them later, and she was just on duty while we were after her call. She was crying too. She's just like, it didn't used to be this way. It used to be, it used to be really, really fulfilling and like something to work for and serve your community and everything else. What is the morale like in the department from your perspective as a brand new officer?
Morale in the department is, again, like confused for the most part, especially like, I mean, it's 2021 now, but back in like the fall of 2020, it was confusion too. Like the target letters, at least that I saw, were like really, really just starting to come down on everybody. Everybody was getting a target letter for everything. And it was confusion. And honestly, it was a lot of like belief too, like, okay, whatever, we got the target letter, let's work through the investigation again. It'll work out. If we did the right thing, you're good. Get some retraining, whatever. But everybody, as it's gone on, like people are just, my whole squad is just quitting. Everybody's done. Like, and it's not even just it's not even that they're frustrated with it. It's not financially or it's not good for their families either. Like they're too stressed out when they go home. You know, your wife asks you, oh, what's going on today? Like, did you save some kid or whatever? You're like,
I mean, yeah, but I'm gonna get in trouble for it because I wasn't buckled up when I showed up on the call, and you know, the kid was fighting with me and he was trying to kill himself or whatever, and we saved his life, but then we spent the rest of the day sitting in an office doing paperwork, which we're gonna get in trouble for later. And I came here planning to stay for like 4 years at bare minimum. I was like, no matter what, I'm gonna stay for 4 years, get a lot of experience, and then if I don't like it, I'll move on. My wife straight up told me, you need to get out. It's too much on me. She's pregnant now, about to have a kid. She's like, it's just too much on me. It's too much on our family. You know, I love the work you do. I love it. It's awesome. I love being a cop's wife, but not here. It's just not sustainable at all. And that's what other guys have told me too, and that's why everybody in my squad's quitting. So.